Hello, my name is Nikki. I was a professional forgiver. You could have put that on my business card. Nikki will forgive anything. Call 555 forgive. I am joking, but only a little. I forgave my friend who borrowed my favorite dress and returned it with a red wine stain. I forgave my boss who forgot my name for 6 months. I even forgave a stranger on the bus who stepped on my new white shoes and just walked away. Forgiveness was my superpower. Or so I thought. Then came David. Let me describe David. Imagine a warm summer evening. That is David. He walked into a room and the air felt softer. He had this laugh, you know the kind? A laugh that starts in his stomach and comes out like a happy puppy. It was impossible to be sad around him. At least at first. We met at a bookshop. I was looking for a sad poetry book. He was looking for a cookbook. He looked at my book, then at me, and said, "Why read about sadness when you can eat pasta?" I laughed. He bought me coffee, and within a week, I was lost. Totally, completely, beautifully lost. With David, love was easy. So easy. He remembered the little things. He knew I hated pickles. He knew I liked the window open when I slept, even in winter. He called me every morning just to say, "Good morning, beautiful. Don't forget to eat breakfast." I felt like I was in a movie. The kind of movie where the girl finally finds the one who sees her, the real her. For 2 years, I floated on a cloud. We moved in together. We got a plant. We named the plant Fernando. Fernando was a weak little thing, but we loved him. We talked about the future. A small house. Maybe a dog. Maybe one day a tiny human. I started to plan my life around his. I stopped hanging out with some friends because he didn't like them. He said they were too loud. I stopped wearing a certain perfume because he said it smelled like his ex. I thought, this is what love does. Love changes you. Love asks you to grow. But here is the truth I learned later. Love does ask you to grow, but love does not ask you to shrink. The first crack appeared on a Tuesday. A small crack. Like a tiny hairline crack in a windshield. You don't see it at first. But one day it spreads. He came home from work angry. I don't remember why. Traffic. A bad boss. Something small. I was cooking dinner. Spaghetti. His favorite. I was happy to see him. I said, "Hi baby, how was your day?" He didn't answer. He just looked at the kitchen counter. I had left my art supplies out. A few pencils, a sketchbook. I like to draw. Again, he said. His voice was cold. A voice I had never heard before. What? I asked, confused. This mess. Every day, this mess. Can you not put your things away like a normal person? I froze. My heart did a little flip. A scared flip. I'm sorry, I said. I was drawing and then I started cooking. I forgot. I'll put them away after dinner. He didn't say anything. He walked over to my sketchbook. He picked it up. He looked at my drawing. It was a drawing of us, holding hands. Simple, sweet. And then he threw it. He threw my sketchbook across the room. It hit the wall. Pages flew everywhere. "Dinner better be ready in 10 minutes, he said. And he went to the bedroom. I stood there, alone, with the spaghetti boiling over, and with my drawings scattered on the floor like broken leaves. What did I do? I forgave him. Of course I did. Later that night, he came out. He hugged me from behind. He whispered, "I'm sorry, Nikki. I had a terrible day. I didn't mean it. You know I love you. You know I think your art is beautiful." And I believed him. I told myself everyone has a bad day. He was tired. He was stressed. It won't happen again. But it did happen again. And again. And again. It started small. His words became sharp little knives. "You're too sensitive. Why do you always cry? You're being dramatic. That outfit makes you look. Never mind." The never mind was the worst. Because my brain would fill in the blank. That outfit makes you look fat. That outfit makes you look ugly. That outfit makes you look like a fool. I started to change. Not grow. Shrink. I stopped drawing. I told myself I was too busy. But really, I was scared. What if I left my pencils out again? What if he got angry again? I stopped calling my friends. He said they didn't like him anyway. I stopped wearing my favorite yellow dress. He said it was too much. I became a smaller version of myself. A quiet version. A version that said sorry for breathing too loud, for laughing too much, for existing. But the big hurt, the hurt I never forgave, that happened one night in December. It was cold outside. Snow was falling. Pretty snow. Silent snow. I had made a surprise for him. I had learned to make his grandmother's soup recipe. It took me 3 days to get it right. I wanted to see him smile. I wanted to see the old David. The David who laughed like a puppy. He came home late. He had been out with friends. He was not drunk, but he was not sober either. His eyes looked different. Harder. "Hey," I said, smiling. "I made you soup. Your grandma's recipe." He looked at the pot on the stove. Then he looked at me. Then he looked at the pot again. And he said something I will never forget. He said, "You think soup fixes everything? You think being nice fixes you?" I didn't understand. "Fixes me?" I said. "What is broken?" He laughed. A cold laugh. Not a puppy laugh. A wolf laugh. "Everything, Nikki. You are broken. You have no friends. You have no job you love. You just draw stupid pictures and make soup. You are boring. You are a boring, sad little girl." The words hit me like stones. Each word was a stone on my chest. Boring. Sad. Little girl. Stupid pictures. "David," I whispered. "That hurts. Please stop." But he didn't stop. He stepped closer. He didn't hit me. No. He never hit me. He knew better than that. He knew physical pain leaves a bruise you can show a friend. He hurt me in a smarter way. A deeper way. He hurt my soul. "Your art is childish," he said. "Your dreams are silly. You think anyone cares about your little drawings? You think you are special? You are not special, Nikki. You are just there." I felt something break inside me. Not the mug this time. The shelf the mug was sitting on. The whole shelf collapsed. And all the mugs fell. Every mug I had. Every memory of every time I forgave him. Every time I smiled and said, "It's okay." All of it. Shattered on the floor of my heart. I didn't cry. Not in front of him. I learned not to cry in front of him because my tears made him angry. He said I was manipulating him with my tears. So I swallowed the tears. They went down into my stomach. And they stayed there. Heavy. Hot. Like swallowing glass. He went to bed. He fell asleep in 2 minutes. Snoring. Peaceful. Like he hadn't just taken a hammer to my spirit. I sat in the kitchen. Alone. The soup got cold. Fernando the plant looked sad. Maybe Fernando knew. I looked at my hands. These hands that drew pictures. These hands that made soup. These hands that held his face and said, "I love you." And I asked myself a question. A simple question. Nikki, if your best friend told you this story, if she said her boyfriend called her boring and stupid and said her dreams are silly, what would you tell her to do? The answer came immediately. Without thinking. I would tell her to leave. I would tell her to pack a bag. I would tell her to run. And not look back. But why is it so hard to give yourself the same advice? Why do we forgive the people who hurt us over and over until there is nothing left to forgive? Because we love them. Because we remember the good days. Because we think, if I just try harder, the old them will come back. Let me tell you a secret. The old them never comes back. The person who calls you stupid? That is the real them. The person who throws your art? That is the real them. The puppy laugh was a guest. The cold laugh is the resident. I did not leave that night. I stayed for 2 more months. 2 more months of small hurts. Little cuts. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. He would be sweet for 3 days. Then cruel for 1. Then sweet again. It is called a cycle. And the cycle is a trap. Because the sweet days give you hope. And hope keeps you in the cage. But the big hurt? The unforgivable one? That came on a Sunday morning. A sunny Sunday. Birds singing. The kind of morning that feels like a promise. I had secretly applied for an art class. A small one. At a community center. Just once a week. Just to remember who I was. I got in. I was so happy. Happy like I hadn't been in a year. I told David at breakfast. I said, "Guess what? I got into that drawing class." It starts next Tuesday. He was eating cereal. He stopped chewing. He looked at me, and he smiled. But it was not a nice smile. It was the smile a cat gives a mouse before the paw comes down. "No, you're not," he said. "What?" I said. "You are not going to a drawing class. You are not leaving this apartment on Tuesday nights. Tuesday is our night." "David, it's just 2 hours," I said. "You can watch your show. I'll be back before you know it." He put his spoon down. Slowly. Carefully. Like he was placing a weapon on the table. "Nikki," he said. And his voice was calm. Too calm. Calm is sometimes more scary than yelling. I said no. "You don't need a drawing class. Your drawings are not good enough for a class. You will embarrass yourself. And you will embarrass me." There it was. The knife. Twisted. I looked at him. And in that moment, I saw everything clearly. I saw every single time he had made me smaller. Every joke that wasn't a joke. Every criticism that was disguised as help. Every time he said, "I'm just being honest," as an excuse to be cruel. And I felt something new. Not sadness. Not anger, even. I felt calm. A cold, clear calm. Like the air before a storm. Or after a storm. I don't know which. I stood up. I walked to the bedroom. I took out a small bag. I put in a toothbrush. A change of clothes. My wallet. And my old sketchbook. The one with the torn pages. I walked to the front door. "Where are you going?" he asked. He looked confused. He was used to me crying. Used to me apologizing. He was not used to this. A quiet Nikki. A Nikki who did not ask for permission. "I am going to find my drawings," I said. "The ones you said were stupid. I am going to find them. And I am not coming back." He stood up. "Don't be ridiculous. Sit down. We'll talk about this." "No, David," I said. "We won't." I opened the door. The cold December air hit my face. It felt good. It felt real. He said one last thing. The thing that sealed the door forever. He said, "You'll be back. You have nowhere to go. No one wants you." I turned around. I looked him in the eyes. And I said, "Someone wants me. I want me." Then I closed the door. I walked to my car. My hands were shaking. My heart was pounding. I drove to my friend Sarah's house. The friend he told me to stop seeing. Sarah opened the door in her pajamas. She saw my face. She didn't ask questions. She just opened her arms and said, "You're here." Finally. That was 3 years ago. 3 years of healing. 3 years of drawing again. 3 years of learning to laugh without someone telling me I laughed too loud. 3 years of eating soup that I made for myself and loving every bite. People ask me, "Nikki, do you forgive him?" And I say no. They look surprised. They say, "But forgiveness is for you, not for him. Forgiveness sets you free." I understand that. I really do. But here is my truth. Some hurts are not meant to be forgiven. Not because I am bitter. Not because I hold a grudge. But because forgiving him would mean pretending that what he did was okay. It would mean saying, "It's fine that you broke me. It's fine that you tried to kill my dreams." And I cannot say that. Because my dreams are not silly. My drawings are not stupid. And I am not boring. Forgiveness is a beautiful thing. For small things. For accidents. For the friend who spills wine on your dress. For the stranger on the bus. But for someone who systematically tried to destroy your soul? For someone who looked at your light and tried to blow it out like a candle? No, you do not have to forgive that. You can simply walk away. You can close the door. You can say, "What you did lives over there. And I live over here. And those two places will never meet." I healed. I went to therapy. I learned about boundaries. Do you know what a boundary is? It is a small fence you build around your heart. And on the fence, you put a sign. The sign says, "You can come close, but you cannot hurt me." If you try, the fence stays closed. David tried to call me. Many times. He sent letters. He said he changed. He said he was sorry. He said he went to therapy too. Maybe he did. Maybe he really did change. But here is the thing. It does not matter. Because forgiveness is not about whether the other person deserves it. And it is not about whether they changed. Forgiveness is a choice. And I chose not to give him mine. I chose to give my forgiveness to myself. For staying so long, for shrinking, for not leaving sooner. I forgave myself for all of that. And that forgiveness was real. That forgiveness set me free. But forgiving him? That would feel like giving him a gift he did not earn. Like giving a trophy to a person who broke the trophy case. So no, I never forgave him. And I am at peace with that. Let me pause here, because I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking, Nikki, that sounds like anger. You sound angry. And maybe you are right. Maybe there is a little anger still. A tiny piece, the size of a grain of sand. But let me tell you something about anger. Anger is not always the enemy. Sometimes, anger is the guard dog that protects the house when you are too weak to do it yourself. For the first 6 months after I left, anger was my best friend. I woke up angry. I went to sleep angry. I was angry at David. I was angry at myself. I was angry at the world for not warning me. Why didn't anyone pull me aside and say, Nikki, run? Why didn't I listen to my own stomach? My stomach knew. My stomach did flips every time he walked in the room. But I told my stomach to be quiet. I said, stomach, you are being dramatic. My stomach was not dramatic. My stomach was smart. My stomach was trying to save my life. But here is the funny thing about anger. It is exhausting. Like carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. To the grocery store. To work. To bed. The backpack is full of rocks. Each rock has a memory written on it. He said this. He did that. He made me cry here. And you carry it. And you carry it. And one day, your shoulders hurt so much that you have to put the backpack down. That day came for me on a Tuesday. A random Tuesday. I was at a park. I was drawing. A little bird was hopping near my feet. A small brown bird. Nothing special. But the bird was not scared of me. It hopped closer. It looked at my drawing. And then it chirped. Just one chirp. And for some reason, that chirp broke something open in me. I started to cry. Not sad crying. Not angry crying. A different kind. A release crying. Like a dam breaking. All the tears I had swallowed for 2 years came out. I cried for the girl who thought she was boring. I cried for the girl who stopped drawing. I cried for the girl who forgave a man who did not deserve it over and over because she was scared to be alone. And when the crying stopped, I felt lighter. The backpack was still there, but it had fewer rocks. And the rocks that remained were smaller, smoother, like stones from a river. They did not cut me anymore. They just were. That was the beginning of my real healing. Not forgetting. Forgetting is impossible. You cannot erase memories. Anyone who tells you to just forget him has never had their heart truly broken. You cannot delete a person from your brain. That is not how brains work. But you can change the story. You can look at the memory and say, that happened. It was terrible, but I survived. And now I am going to use that memory as a map of where not to go again. So let me tell you about my life now, because this is not a sad story. Well, it is sad, but it is also a strong story. A story about a woman who rebuilt herself piece by piece, like fixing a broken vase with gold. Do you know that Japanese art? Kintsugi? They break a bowl and then they fix it with gold. The cracks become beautiful. The bowl is not the same. It is stronger, more interesting, more valuable. I am that bowl. I draw every day now, every single day. I have a studio, a small room in my apartment. The walls are covered in my drawings. Drawings of flowers, drawings of faces, drawings of soup. Yes, soup. I drew a whole series of soup drawings. They are silly. They make me happy. I sold one at a local market. A woman bought my drawing of a tomato soup can. She said it reminded her of her grandmother. I almost cried. Right there in the market. My drawing. On someone's wall. My silly, stupid, childish drawing. David said my drawings were not good enough for a class. Well, David was wrong. David was very, very wrong. I also made new friends. Real friends. Friends who do not ask me to be smaller. Friends who laugh loud with me. We go to bad movies on purpose and make fun of them. We eat ice cream for dinner sometimes. We sit in silence and read books together. Just being near each other. No pressure. No performance. Just company. One of my new friends, her name is Maria. Maria is from Brazil. She speaks English with a beautiful accent. One day, she asked me, Nikki, why do you never talk about David with anger anymore? I thought about it, and I said, because he is not worth my present. He had my past. He almost took my future, but he does not get my present. My present is mine. Maria hugged me. She said, that is the most powerful thing I have ever heard. But let me be honest. Healing is not a straight line. It is not like walking from point A to point B. It is more like a spiral. You think you are fine. You think you have moved on. And then one day, you smell a cologne. Or you hear a song. Or you see a car that looks like his. And suddenly, you're back. Not all the way back, but a little bit. A little flash. A little shadow. Last year, I was at a coffee shop. A man walked in. He had the same laugh. That puppy laugh. My heart stopped. My hands got cold. I looked up. It was not David. It was a stranger. A stranger with a nice laugh. But my body did not know that. My body remembered. My body said, danger. Danger. Run. I did not run. I sat there. I took a deep breath. I counted to 10. I looked at the man. He was holding a little dog. A real puppy. He was laughing at the puppy. He was just a normal guy. A nice guy. And I realized something important. The problem was never the laugh. The problem was never the puppy. The problem was David. Only David. So I cannot blame every man with a nice laugh for David's crimes. That would not be fair. To them or to me. But I am also not ready to date. People ask me, Nikki, are you seeing anyone? And I say, I am seeing myself. And it is going very well. They laugh. But I am not joking. For the first time in my life, I am enjoying my own company. I take myself on dates. I go to a nice restaurant. I order the food I want. I eat slowly. I talk to myself in my head. I say, Nikki, how was your day? And then I answer, it was good, Nikki. Thank you for asking. That sounds crazy, right? Maybe, but it works. Because the most important relationship you will ever have is the relationship with yourself. If you do not like being alone with you, why would someone else want to be with you? I learned that from my therapist. My therapist is a small woman with big glasses. Her name is Dr. Linda. She talks very slowly. Sometimes I want to shake her and say, faster, Linda. But she is smart. One day, she said something that changed my life. She said, Nikki, you keep waiting for David to say sorry in a way that fixes everything. But he never will, because no apology can go back in time. So you have two choices. You can wait forever, or you can accept that the apology you want does not exist. And then you can move on. That hit me, right in the chest. I was waiting. I was waiting for David to call and say the magic words. Words that would undo every insult, every thrown sketchbook, every you are boring. But those words do not exist. There is no sentence in the English language that can fix a broken heart. There is no I'm sorry that erases the past. So I stopped waiting. I gave myself the apology I needed. I said to myself, Nikki, I am sorry that happened to you. I am sorry no one protected you. But I will protect you now. I promise. That promise changed everything. Now, let me talk about forgiveness one more time, because I know this is a controversial topic. Some people believe you must forgive everyone. They quote religious texts. They say, forgive 70 times 7. They say, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I understand that. I really do. And I think for small hurts, that is true. If someone cuts you off in traffic, forgive them. If someone is rude at the grocery store, forgive them. Holding on to that anger hurts you more than it hurts them. But we are not talking about traffic. We are not talking about a rude cashier. We are talking about emotional abuse. We are talking about a person who looked at your soul and tried to break it. That is different. That is not a small hurt. That is a wound. A deep wound. And deep wounds need different medicine. Forgiveness, to me, is not a one-size-fits-all sweater. It is a custom-made dress. It has to fit your specific situation. For some people, forgiveness is the answer. For others, it is not. And that is okay. That is more than okay. That is allowed. You do not have to forgive someone who hurt you. You can simply say, what you did was wrong. It hurt me, and I choose to walk away from you and from that memory. I choose to focus on my life, not on forgiving you, on living. That is what I did. I did not forgive David, but I also did not sit in a dark room and hate him for years. I let him go. I released him, not through forgiveness, through indifference. Indifference is the opposite of love, not hate. Hate is still a strong emotion. Hate still connects you to the person. Indifference is different. Indifference means you do not care anymore. You do not wish them well. You do not wish them harm. You just do not think about them. They become a stranger, a person you used to know, like an old classmate from high school. You remember their name, but you feel nothing. That is where I am now. Indifferent. David could win the lottery tomorrow. I would not feel happy or sad. David could fall off a bicycle. I would not laugh or cry. I would just think, that happened. And then I would go back to my drawing. That is freedom. Real freedom. Not the freedom of forgiveness. The freedom of moving on. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you have a rock in your shoe. A small, sharp rock. It hurts every time you walk. You have two choices. You can forgive the rock. You can say, "Rock, I forgive you for hurting my foot." But the rock is still there. It still hurts. Or you can take the rock out of your shoe. You can throw it on the ground. You can walk away. You do not need to forgive the rock. You just need to remove it. David was my rock. I removed him. I did not forgive him. I removed him. And then I kept walking. My foot healed. And I never thought about the rock again. Some people will read this and disagree. They will say, "Nikki, you're holding on to negativity." They will say, "You need to forgive to truly heal." To those people, I say, "Thank you for your opinion. But you did not live my life. You did not cry my tears. You did not shrink yourself to nothing for 2 years. So please, keep your advice for someone who asked for it." That sounds harsh, I know. But I am done being nice. Nice is what got me into trouble. Nice is what made me say it's okay when it was not okay. I am not mean now. I am kind. There is a difference. Kindness is treating people with respect. Meanness is hurting people on purpose. I am not mean, but I am also not a doormat anymore. I have a spine, a strong spine. And my spine says I do not have to forgive everyone. I just have to live well. And I am living well. Really well. This morning, I woke up at 7 a.m. The sun was coming through my window. I made coffee. I sat by the window. I watched the birds. I drew a picture of a bird. It was a terrible picture. The bird looked like a potato with wings. But I laughed. I laughed at my own drawing. And then I drew it again. Better this time. Not perfect, but better. Then I went for a walk. I saw a man and a woman arguing on the street. The man was yelling. The woman was crying. My stomach did a flip. Old feelings came back. I wanted to go to the woman. I wanted to say, "You do not have to stay. You can leave." But I did not, because it is not my place. Maybe that woman has her own journey. Maybe that man is not like David. Or maybe he is. I do not know. But I sent her a silent wish. A wish for strength. A wish for a door to open. A wish for her to find her own sketchbook one day. That is the best I can do. Send good wishes. And keep walking. Let me tell you about a dream I had. A few months ago, I dreamt I was back in the old apartment. The one with Fernando the plant. Everything looked the same. The same couch. The same kitchen. The same cold light. David was there. He was sitting at the table. He looked older. Tired. He looked at me and he said, "Nikki, I am sorry. I was wrong about everything." In the dream, I sat down across from him. I looked at his face. And I said, "I know you are sorry. But sorry does not fix the drawings you threw. Sorry does not fix the nights I cried alone. Sorry does not fix the person I became when I was with you." He started to cry. Real tears. And in the dream, I felt nothing. No pity. No anger. No love. Just a quiet calm. I stood up. I walked to the door. I opened it. And I walked out into a field of flowers. A huge field. Yellow flowers. The sun was warm. And I heard my own voice say, "You are free." Then I woke up. And I was crying. But not sad tears. Happy tears. Because that dream showed me something important. It showed me that I had finally let go of the hope. The hope that he would change. The hope that he would apologize perfectly. The hope that we could go back to the beginning. That hope was the last chain. And in the dream, I broke it. So here's my question to you. The person reading this, or listening to this, are you holding on to someone who hurt you? Are you waiting for an apology that will never come? Are you hoping that one day, they will wake up and become the person you thought they were? Stop. Please. Stop waiting. That person does not exist. The person you fell in love with was a mask. A good mask. A beautiful mask. But a mask is not a face. Under the mask, there was someone who could hurt you. Someone who did hurt you. And that is the real person. I am not saying people cannot change. People can change. I changed. I am not the same Nikki who forgave everything. I am a new Nikki. A stronger Nikki. But David? Maybe he changed. Maybe he did not. I do not know. And I do not care. Because his change is his business. My life is my business. And I do not need to check on his progress to feel good about myself. That is another trap. The trap of checking. Did he get married? Is he happy? Does he miss me? Stop. Block. Delete. Do not look at his social media. Do not ask mutual friends. Do not drive by his house. That is not healing. That is picking at a wound. Every time you look, you reopen the cut. Let it close. Let it scar. Scars are fine. Scars are proof that you survived. I have a scar on my knee from when I was a child. I fell off a bike. The scar is white and small. I do not look at it every day and say, "Oh, that terrible bike. That terrible fall." No, I just see my knee. I see a scar. And I move on. Treat your heart the same way. The scar from David is there. It will always be there. But you do not have to touch it every day. You do not have to show it to everyone. You can just let it be. Part of your story. But not the whole story. My whole story is not about David. My whole story is about a girl who loved to draw. Who loved soup. Who loved quiet mornings. Who got lost for a while. And then found her way back. That is the story. David is just a chapter. A painful chapter. But the book has many chapters. And the later chapters are much better. In fact, let me read you a small piece from my current chapter. Yesterday, I went to the beach. Alone. I took my sketchbook. I sat on the sand. The waves were loud. The water was cold. I drew the waves. I am not good at drawing water. Water is hard. It moves too fast. But I tried. And I tried. And after an hour, I had a drawing that looked a little bit like water. Not perfect, but mine. A little girl walked by. She was maybe 5 years old. She had a pink bucket. She looked at my drawing. She said, "That's pretty." I said, "Thank you." She said, "Can I draw with you?" Her mother started to say, "No, don't bother the lady." But I said, "Yes, come sit." The little girl sat next to me. I gave her a pencil. She drew a monster. A big, purple monster with 3 eyes. She said, "This is my monster. His name is Fluffy." I laughed. I drew a monster too. A small, green monster. I said, "This is my monster. His name is David." The little girl laughed. She did not know it was a real name. She just thought it was funny. And in that moment, I turned my pain into a joke. A silly monster named David. And that felt good. That felt like winning. Healing is not about becoming a serious person who sits in meditation all day. Healing is about laughing again. About finding joy in small things. About drawing monsters on the beach with a 5-year-old. About eating ice cream for dinner. About dancing in your kitchen to a bad song. I dance in my kitchen now. Every day. I put on music. Loud music. Music David would have hated. And I dance. I am a terrible dancer. My hips do not move the right way. My arms are stiff. But I do not care. I am dancing for me. For the girl who was told she was boring. Look at me now, David. I am dancing like a fool. And I am so happy. I also travel now. Small trips. Nothing fancy. I went to a nearby town last month. A town I always wanted to visit, but David said was a waste of gas. I walked through the town. I ate a sandwich at a small cafe. I bought a silly hat. A hat with a flower on it. David would have hated the hat. That made me love the hat even more. I wear it to the grocery store. People stare. I do not care. It is my flower hat. It makes me smile. These are the things that matter. Not his apology. Not his change. Not his memory. These small, beautiful, silly moments. They are my life now, and I protect them like a mother protects her child. Let me talk about boundaries again, because boundaries saved my life. A boundary is not a wall. A wall keeps everyone out. A boundary is a fence with a gate. You decide who comes in. You decide who stays out. And you have the key. After I left David, I made a list. A list of my boundaries. I wrote them in my sketchbook. They're simple. Boundary number 1, no one yells at me. If you yell, I leave the room. I do not argue. I do not explain. I just leave. Boundary number 2, no one calls me names. Not stupid. Not boring. Not too sensitive. If you call me a name, our conversation is over. For that day, maybe forever. Boundary number 3, I do not change who I am to make someone comfortable. I draw my pictures. I wear my flower hat. I laugh loud. If that bothers you, the door is over there. Use it. Boundary number 4, I trust my stomach. If my stomach feels bad, I listen. I do not argue with my stomach. My stomach is smarter than my brain sometimes. These boundaries sound simple, but for me, they were revolutionary. Because I spent 2 years with no boundaries. David walked all over me. He opened every door. He broke every fence. Now, the fence is strong. And I hold the key. Do I ever feel lonely? Yes. Sometimes. On a Friday night when all my friends are busy. When the apartment is quiet. When the only sound is the refrigerator humming. Sometimes I feel a little lonely. A little ache. A little whisper that says, maybe it would be nice to have someone. But then I remember. Remembering is important. I remember the cold nights. The thrown sketchbook. The words you are boring. And the loneliness goes away. Because being alone is better than being with someone who makes you feel alone. Much better. I would rather be single for the rest of my life than spend 1 more minute with a person who makes me smaller. And I mean that. From the bottom of my heart. My friend Maria, the one from Brazil, she is dating a new guy. A nice guy. He brings her flowers. He opens doors for her. He remembers her birthday. I watch them together. And I feel happy for her. But I also feel a small pinch. A small, why not me? But then I remind myself, my time will come, or it will not. Either way, I will be okay. Because I have me, and I am enough. That is the biggest lesson. The biggest healing. You are enough. You do not need a partner to complete you. You are already complete. A partner should add to your life. Not fill a hole. Not fix a broken part. Just add. Like sprinkles on ice cream. The ice cream is good alone. Sprinkles make it better. But if there are no sprinkles, the ice cream is still delicious. I am delicious ice cream. With or without sprinkles. So, back to the question. The question everyone asks. Do you forgive him? My final answer is this. No, I do not forgive David. But I also do not hate him. I do not think about him. I do not wish him well. I do not wish him harm. He is simply gone. From my heart. From my mind. From my story. He is a chapter 1 finished. And I close the book. Forgiveness is a beautiful thing. For the right person. For the right situation. But it is not a requirement. It is not a rule. You can heal without forgiving. You can move on without saying, I forgive you. You can be happy and whole and free, even if you never speak those words. Because forgiveness is not the only path. There is another path. The path of acceptance. Acceptance means, this happened. It was bad. It hurt. I cannot change it. But I can change my future. So I will leave the past where it belongs. Behind me. I choose acceptance. I accept that David hurt me. I accept that I stayed too long. I accept that I will never get those 2 years back. And I accept that I am okay with all of that. I am okay. Let me say that again. Louder for the people in the back. I am okay. I am more than okay. I am good. I am strong. I am creative. I am funny. I am a little weird. I wear a flower hat. I draw potatoes with wings. I dance badly in my kitchen. And I am so happy. David tried to take that happiness. He tried to steal my light. But he failed. Because my light is mine. It comes from inside me. Not from him. Not from any man. Not from any relationship. It comes from me. Nikki, the girl who draws. The girl who loves soup. The girl who forgave herself. So if you are listening to this and you are in a situation like I was, if someone is making you smaller, if someone is calling you names, if someone is throwing your sketchbooks, whatever your sketchbook is, please leave. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for them to change. Do not wait for a sign. You are the sign. Pack a bag. Call a friend. Open the door. Walk out. And do not look back. You do not have to forgive them. You do not have to understand them. You do not have to feel bad for them. You just have to save yourself. Because you are worth saving. You are worth more than the way they treat you. You are not boring. You are not stupid. You are not too sensitive. You are a person. A whole, beautiful, complicated person. And you deserve to be treated like one. I will leave you with this. A simple truth I learned on my journey. Love does not hurt. Love does not make you cry alone at night. Love does not call you names. Love does not throw your dreams on the floor. If love hurts, it is not love. It is something else. Control, fear, habit, but not love. Real love feels like a warm blanket on a cold day. Real love feels like safety. Real love says, draw your pictures. Wear your flower hat. Laugh loud. I love you exactly as you are. David did not love me. He loved the idea of controlling me. And I confuse that with love. Many of us do. We confuse intensity with love. We confuse jealousy with love. We confuse drama with love. But those things are not love. They are the opposite of love. They are fear. So learn from my story. Please. Learn from my broken mug, my thrown sketchbook, my cold soup. Learn that you can walk away without forgiving. Learn that you can heal without forgetting. Learn that you are enough. Right now. In this moment. With all your flaws. With all your fears. With all your messy, beautiful, human heart. You are enough. I am Nikki. And I never forgave him. But I forgave myself. And that was the only forgiveness that ever mattered. Thank you for listening to my story. Now go. Draw something. Eat some soup. Dance in your kitchen. And remember, the door is always open. But you have to be the one to walk through it.